And then every week it just keeps getting better. Thank you. So now let's welcome one of my favorites, Rabbi Rachel, for her message about manifesting miracles.
Good morning, everybody. Aloha. Blessed solstice first day to us all, right? I can't be the only one feeling the energy of the longest night of the year with the shortest day of the year. Right now here on the island, we're having this massive swell. I'm not the only one who feels the waves that are just like pumping up. They called the surf competition for today on Oahu the Eddy, which only happens when, the bay calls the day. So I think we're all feeling this energy lift right now as 2024 comes to a close, 2025 begins. It's also Hanukkah and Christmas start on the same day this year, which is very not, it's not a normal thing. Sometimes it happens, and I think when it does, there's a call to look into why these 2 days are aligning in this way. And that's kind of what I'm going to share about with you today. Because I think I've spoken before about how in Judaism and the Hebrew calendar, we're a lunar calendar. Kind of like the Hawaiian calendar, it's based on the moon. So our holidays are always on different days throughout the year. It's always the 25th of Kislev, beginning Hanukkah, but where Kislev falls in November and December is always kind of up in the air somewhat, right? So the fact that tonight, or today, this year, is the first Christmas day and the first night of Hanukkah, I see some correlation there. And I think that we're being reminded in this time of darkness and solstice and all these things that there's light still. That's the thing we are reminded of in winter. Darkness is a part of life. And when we embrace the darkness, I think we find more light. And that sounds crazy because what appears as dark within our life, whether it be circumstances or energy or things that could be blocks in a sense, I believe are actually opportunities to open us up to find more light within them. Even last night, out in the dark of solstice, feeling extremely energetically overwhelmed and whatnot, you still look up and the stars are like the brightest you've ever seen them. And if it weren't for that darkness, how could the stars shine so bright? I believe it's also a time where we're called to celebrate the miraculous, right? The Christmas story, while it's not the one I'm the most versed with, is a story of miracles happening all around. Hanukkah, which I'm a little more versed with, is nothing but a story of miracles, where we're celebrating the miracle of a man and his sons creating what I consider the first revolution, if you will, to overcome an army, to the joy and the magnificence of one day of oil that lasted for 8 days. I explained this to a bat mitzvah student the other day in terms of, their speak. This is like if your cell phone had 2% battery and lasted for 8 days. That's what Hanukkah is. That's cool, right? That's crazy. Talk about a miracle. But that's really what it was. This small amount of something that's supposed to charge for an amount of time that you're like, there's no way that's going to happen. And you look down, you're like, man, this bug is still going. It's still burning. That's what Hanukkah is. And that's what miracles are. But I don't know that I believe that miracles are something that just happened. Oh, don't beat the mic. That just happened for our ancestors. That just happened way back when, or that's something we're supposed to talk about. I don't know that your cell phone being on 2% and making it for 8 days is a miracle we're necessarily meant to celebrate, but it helps our brain recognize what is miraculous. Well, what is miraculous to me is this moment that we have right now. And I think a lot of times we forget that. This season, while it can bring a lot of joy and happiness and memories and fun, can also trigger a lot for a lot of people. It can trigger a lot of loneliness. It can trigger a lot of sadness. We actually see the darkest parts of our culture rise up in my mind in terms of standing in line and spending money and consumerism and losing sight of what truly is miraculous. And what is miraculous to me is that we woke up this morning. So many beings didn't wake up this morning. That we're able to stand here right now. It's a miracle that we get to be humans on the planet at this time. We could have been an ant and people would be trying to step on us. But you're not. You're a human with this power right now. So today I was called to share about manifesting miracles. We hear the word manifesting, I think, a lot today. It's a bit of a buzzword, if you will. Like, let's manifest this, let's manifest this. And I think people have gotten this bizarre idea of manifestation where they think if they think and they work and they will something hard enough, then they can manifest it to happen. And to me, that's totally the opposite of manifesting. To me, manifesting is actually coming into alignment with the miraculous that's already there waiting for you. Allowing yourself to open up to receive whatever miracle is meant to go through you. I think to my ancestors who were getting ready to fight the Syrian army, who had said that they could no longer be Jewish, that they could no longer read their texts, that they could no longer be who they were. I feel similarities with that today in our society as a rabbi and as a Jewish person, as anti-Semitism continues to rise more and more and more. But I think about that feeling of helplessness that they must have felt. Many people don't realize the dreidel, that's like a cute little game we've got now. I was explaining this to kids the other day. That was actually so our ancestors could learn and study Torah when the Syrian army came by. They had teachings on the side of each one, and they would spin the dreidel when the Syrian army came by to make sure they weren't learning, as a way to think, oh no, we're just gambling, keep on going with your rounds and whatnot. But they weren't. They were actually studying and learning. But I think about the fact that there was this great big power that was so much bigger than them, or this illusion of power, this government, whatever it was, that told them they couldn't be who they were, that told them that they could not exist and they could not be Jewish and they could not be Hebrew. And I think about Judah, who was this mediocre kind of dude who really wasn't like nobody in terms of whatever, he wasn't a leader of an army. He wasn't a rabbi. He wasn't a priest. He was a dude who was like, hey, I've had enough. I don't want to take this anymore. And so he gathered him and his sons and he was like, we're going to fight the Syrian army. And everyone's like, you can't do that. You're just some dude and his sons. And he's like, nah, we're Judah and the Maccabees. And Maccabees means warriors. So we're going to make this happen. And they called on everyone, all the Jewish people all around, to come and stand with them in the temple. And they get up there and they have the sacred Hanukkah, the menorah, which, by the way, I got to get you guys one for in here. I had that thought while we were here. I'll bring you a menorah later. They had the menorah on the altar. And the guy goes up there and he's like, man, we can't do this. You guys got to battle for like 7 to 8 days. We've only got enough oil up in here to burn for a night or two. How can we hold space for you? How can we give you the sacred blessing that we're meant to give you if we don't physically have long enough to do so? And I think about the moment where Judah had to be like, well, we're just going to let ourselves believe it's going to work out. And where the Jewish people had to believe, well, we're just going to believe that it has to work out. We're going to light the oil anyway. We're going to burn the menorah anyway. And what if, maybe just what if, we believe that we're worthy of a miracle? And we open ourselves up to receive one. And then what happened? The miraculous occurred. The oil lasted for 8 nights. Judah and the Maccabees beat the giant Syrian army. The Jewish people persevered yet again, which just seems to be the point of history. Because it's finding this light in the darkness where you don't think you can see it most. I think back to myself and my journey to becoming a healer and a rabbi and whatnot, that started with me, I don't talk about often, being paralyzed, told I would never walk again. Basically, like, you're going to go into a wheelchair, that's going to be your life. Here you go, let's do some physical therapy like they do for phantom limb patients. Your left leg is gone, peace, this is your existence. And the moment where I vividly remember switching my belief that I was worthy of a miracle. that miracles could still occur. And that if I really wanted one to happen, I had to believe that I was worthy of receiving it. And you know how scary that is? Do you know how dark that is? To trust in something that you can't see? That type of blind faith, if you will? But that's when the miracle occurs. When we go into the darkness and recognize that fear is always going to be there. That voice of fear and darkness can be very loud. Stress and anger and everything telling you you can't do this and here's why is a voice that screams a lot louder than the little one going, "You've got this. You've got this." But that voice is there. So I don't think manifesting takes work. And I stand here as a pure manifester in human design. So just so you're aware, I'm qualified to speak on this. But I don't think manifesting occurs in willing something to happen. Sure, if you receive divine notion to put something into action, you listen. Karen wrote a book because she channeled these poems and was called to share. And look, I'm not saying don't take action. But I'm saying recognize that you aren't required to take action. Manifesting, apparently God wanted me to hit that one home for you guys. Manifesting is coming into alignment with what is already there waiting for you. For you to recognize that the darkness is dark. But you are the light. You in this body, on loan, on this planet right now. Think about how crazy that is. All the cells and blood and everything that goes into your little human operating system. AI don't got nothing on us humans, I'm sorry. But when you think about that, you recognize that it's truly a miracle. This breath that you all just took right now without even consciously thinking about, at this exact same moment, millions of beings take their last. Think about all the creatures that as we receive this breath, just took their last one to go into another space of darkness. I've had the privilege of experiencing birth, and I've had the privilege of witnessing death. Both require darkness and trusting that within that darkness, there is always light. Miracles still occur. You are a miracle. The miraculous exists at every moment because we are the reflection of the most miraculous. We get the power and the privilege to be that light. To be bodies in this planet right now. To recognize that when we know we are worthy of a miracle, it's crazy the ways things seem to work out. Things start to align where you're just like, whoa, what? It becomes too good to be true. And then that's when you got to watch out. That's when the darkness creeps back in, right? It's like, oh my gosh, you've done all this, your work is done. Oh my goodness, you've got all this. When's the other shoe going to drop, right? We've all had that happen. Things in our life start to align. We recognize we're worthy of a miracle happens, and then we get tired. Facts. And we think that we're okay to let go of that belief. But something will always nudge us back into that belief. Back into that space to not get caught up in what doesn't matter. This earthly dimension right now is very easy to get lost in. But we are not of this earth. We are light. We are nature. Put here during these times to honor these seasons and see what's going on so that we can connect and flow with what is. Just like the waves pump up right now and the ocean swells to cleanse and the earth's energy rises. We feel this in terms of Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, this season that's just amplified. Where we are meant to light up just a little more, where we are meant to recognize that this is a miracle and we are worthy of miracles beyond the miraculous. I'm just going to go. I think about life now, where I was last year, and I know it's a miracle that I'm here. I know we can always trust love, never choose fear. I can see it all so crystal clear. It's amazing what happens when from chaos you steer and turn towards consistency, never looking in the rear. When you listen to the divine, choose to hear, stay mindful and present, no accidents are near. Into love you lean, from drama you veer, welcome all feelings and outflow the tears. When you are one with what is, honor what you hold dear, manifesting miracles, to this you are near. 11 years ago on Christmas Day, I arrived here in Hawaii, May. Now Hanukkah and Christmas align in this way. Maybe it's a miracle, one could say, that we're being called to the sacred, come what may, to align with the divine, find presence and stay. Let go of work, our souls yearn to play. Manifesting is alignment, stay out of your own way. Know you're a miracle, for in the ground you don't lay, and manifesting miracles has put me here today. It's like life doesn't stop. When you think you're on top, you're missing the moment, waiting for the shoe to drop. The moment you abandon, to the next one you hop, missing the miracle, the moment just flops. And Hanukkah to me is the first revolution, the Maccabees' battle against sacred pollution. I stand here today to find restitution, and it's never been easy. Let there be no confusion. To stand up for what's right, see through the illusion. I don't care about problems. I'm here for solutions. I know that miracles still exist, and I've learned what you resist persists. So what's happening now is not to be missed, and if I didn't speak up, I would be remiss. Maybe things have gone different than we have wished. We've put ourselves out there only to be dissed. But I believe miracles is coming into alignment, knowing this body is yours on consignment, and we were put here for the planet's refinement. I know you're a miracle, even when you can't see. We reflect one another eternally. This light that shines indefinitely, when we know this, we truly are free. Being the change we were put here to be, from chaos and confusion, we can choose to flee. Manifesting miracles comes with a fee, but it's one that costs nothing to you or me, because the divine does it all. We just buzz like the bee. So Christmas and Hanukkah together as one, reminding us all we deserve to have fun. It's too hard to live life on the run, so much pressure upon us, electronics and guns. The world right now can make us want to shun, but we are reminded our work is not done. When it comes to our purpose, it can feel like a ton, but when you align, you know you have won. All things matter, accidents there are none. The more pain you are given, the more you can pun. Because the divine is the oven, you are the bun, and you are a miracle. Please remember that, hon. And while this time can bring a lot of cheer, it can also trigger loneliness and fear. So to one another, we must hold dear, see the miracles, even when they're not clear. We can choose to find our joy in times when it feels a lot more like oi. We can abstain from consumerism, consumption and toys, focus on the people, the girls and boys. I don't mean to sound trite, I don't mean to play coy, but we could be happier just pounding poi. So here in this solstice, Christmas, Hanukkah time, I feel honored to be with you, to channel this rhyme. I don't know why I was given the voice of the divine, or why I was put here, to help us align. I just see you, your light does shine, and this I reflect by sharing mine. Life is unpredictable, things can change on a dime, and sometimes it seems love can feel like a crime. Tired and wounded, hungry and sore, our planet is crying deep down to the core, calling us to connect, remember there's more, and that we're all one. The divine doesn't keep score. You are a miracle, that is for sure. And when you know this, you open the door. Life is always epic, it's never a bore, and your legacy isn't what clothes you wore. It's the way you rise up when you fall to the floor. It's the way that the waves are one with the shore. And you are a miracle, your cup you pour. As the days grow short and the nights grow long, I am awoken by the bird's song, reminding us all we're just playing along. There's working and not working, no right or wrong. Now is the time we are called to align and know we are one with the divine. Here in the darkness we are called to shine, which brings me to share this voice of mine. I am reminded when it all seems fine, there is still darkness, things change on a dime. And sometimes all I want is to cry and whine. It's like hate and propaganda are no longer a crime. The darkness is real, we're all walking the line. And I don't know how I channel these rhymes, but this miracle manifests because your light, I'm mine. You are a miracle in a body on loan. And when you know this, you know you are home. Align with the sacred, feel it deep in your bones. Signs everywhere, you are always being shown. We are nature, we are not our phones. God doesn't watch us by flying a drone. There's no miracle in distraction, let this be known. As a society, I think we have grown. But we still need miracles, sacred skills we must hone. The divine is calling. Can we hear the tone? Manifesting miracles. Happy Hanukkah. Shalom. Thank you, everyone.